hot. Super 16, it's the cream of the crop. College football time of year, don't stop.
You're adding this guy.
Just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16. Serving up a plate for the football fiends. Breaking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Ain't no bias. Chris Zorich breaking truth. Traded in the golden helmet in the passport suit. With the tape, never lie. College ball, he's a stoop. Breaking the top 16, not the top 32.
I don't mean to cut you off like a Zorich jersey, but you ain't really grinding unless the jersey dirty. Hit the running back like a Mack truck behind the 30-yard line. It's game time. My team riding off the sideline.
You look at Chris like this with a fact checklist, going over college teams like a big scientist. Steve streaking from his head like in his playing days. Super 16 polls on the show straight away.
It's the FBS, the best of the best from the ACC to the SEC. Pac-12, Big 10, Mountain West, Sun Belt, and the Big 12. Open your eyelids, who the best like the clock? Super 16, it's the cream of the crop. College football time of year, don't stop. With Christopher Zorich, just another go dome with the courage, heart, skill, and will. Bringing you the best 16. Serving up a plate for the football fiends. Breaking the best 16 college teams. Football fans, it's the show of your dreams.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Super 16 Poll Show with myself and Draft Dr. Phil. As you can see, my accommodations are a little different this time. I've decided to shoot the show at our Airbnb that's in South Bend called the Mini Clover. So we can talk about that a little later. But we had another amazing weekend of college football, even though no ranked teams played each other. But I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning watching something, which we will definitely talk about. But Phil, what did you think about this weekend's slate of college football?
There he is, the three-time All-American.
I'm trying.
At the Mini Clover.
Yes, we are.
I'm excited about that.
Exactly.
We're definitely going to have to get into that discussion of what that is tonight.
Of course.
We got a happy holidays. I don't know what holiday it is, Ron.
It's okay. It looks good. It snows in South Bend, so that's what happens.
It's a holiday for Notre Damers.
Not yet.
Holiday.
Not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Listen, it was a good weekend of college football. Obviously, as you're hinting at, it's that I chose not to stay up to watch Colorado State. I stayed to the half, and I was like, I got a game in the morning. I can't watch all of this. But I'm sure you can talk about that game. I'm
sure we will, but I think there's a game you might want to talk about just a little bit more.
And which one would that be?
That may be our beloved Chicago Bears.
That game. I'm not going on any more rants about this.
No. I'll just. I got my watch on now. I'm just gonna.
How many minutes do I have? 2.
You got like 3 seconds.
Okay. The Bears are who we thought they were. They're who we thought they were. Well, who I thought they were, with Matt Eberflus getting, what do we call it? Getting his due nationally. The local media, I think, is being too light on it. The reality is that was a complete and utter BS presser today by him, making a lot of excuses. And that's the sign, Chris. I mean, we talk privately. Some of the things I've seen in regards to the tape of this guy has stood out. And Justin Fields, whether you're a Fields fan or a defender or what, he was awful. And he hasn't gotten better. It seems to be you've lost the last 12 games in a row. And I don't want to hear excuses.
Right.
I've watched the tape. There's opportunities there. Play calling. You have it all written in. Guess what? All those things come back to one person, the head coach.
Absolutely.
Right? So Justin stinks, the OC stinks, the defensive coordinator, oh, by the way, it was the head coach. He stinks. They all stink. And the end result is a complete, utter letdown again on the road. And they got to get better. I think we are seeing who Matt Eberflus is. And it's unfortunate.
Well, and I think they're going to have an interesting game on the road next week.
Oh, yeah.
Because the quarterback just signed a gazillion-dollar contract. And, oh, by the way,
the other Matt.
Who might not know, for those of you who might not know, Nagy is the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Exactly. So
it's going to be interesting. And you know he's going to want to kick some bare ass.
That's going to be an interest. Obviously, a lot of you can't start 0-3. Is anybody believing in the Chicago Bears right now? Going to have a rebound. Stranger things have happened. I'm just on the other end. I predicted the Bears to lose to the Bucks. That's exactly what they did. And they continue to struggle. I'll say this. Never in the history of my life have I ever, as a coach or been in any game, where a offense decided to run a screen pass inside the 5 or inside the 7-yard line.
That was atrocious.
To double down and do it twice.
Hey.
After you just ran it. It's like you're in a scrimmage. Line up, run it again and get it right.
Right. No, come back, run it again. Okay, we're going to move out of here. Okay, this is the play. All right, we're good? Okay, let's run it.
I couldn't believe it. For everything that I've dealt with watching this Chicago Bears team, that is in the top 5 all-time lows. Just what?
That was tough.
What? I got the tape tonight. I can't even watch it tonight.
I hope not.
Because I'm going to a concert, right?
Well,
that's my.
We'll get more agita, right?
I got a lot of agita watching that. A lot of agita, I'm sure. But I will cut it.
I'm impressed. That was 3 minutes.
There we go. That's it.
Look at that. Zorich, can you believe that? 3 minutes?
And I send a shout out to Denny Green, the late, great Denny Green. You played against him, right?
I did, but that was a long time ago.
Did he ever yell, "Hey, Zorich"?
He did not.
Oh, okay.
He did not. Actually, I played him in college as well when he was at Stanford.
Yeah, was it Stanford, right?
Yeah.
He had the Jerry curls.
Yep. Curls.
Now we got screens, Chris.
I can't wait to hear that song.
It's in production.
Oh, I bet it is.
Kennedy. Cool Kennedy.
I bet it was. I bet it was in production right after it happened.
We got to have a nice beat, but somehow he's got to like grab like a screen and like make a noise. It's got to be in there somewhere.
Oh,
like,
interesting. I like that.
Screen.
I like that.
Right? Got to do something.
I thought you were going to go like, and then like announce the exact same play over again. Because it happened.
That's a good. We add that in there. You know how reggae music goes rewind, boop, 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 boop.
Right.
Screen again. You could do a parody song. Let's screen again, like we did last play.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's a list of things you can. After that, before I'm sure everybody was just. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting with my mouth open, going, "Is this really happening?"
The only hope is it like one of those. What are those classic low budget movies that become a classic? Could this possibly happen from this or no? No chance. No chance. Oh my! Remember, Anna? You remember Football Follies? The Football Follies.
Yeah, I am that old. Yes.
As a kid, we used to watch that. It was great. The NFL Films would produce it, put funny music to it, and dumb things. The Bears can have a library.
What about using like Benny Hill music? Remember that? Exactly. Yes.
Let's run screen again. Hey, Getsy, what's the screen?
Do you remember? I mean, I think that theme music, like if you play that, I think people of a certain age kind of, yes, I think they were like, oh my God, I remember that from my childhood.
Kansas City Chiefs should play it right when we walk.
As
Here come the Bears
on the field.
Hold on, first play screen.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because remember, what didn't Mahomes, was it 2 years ago? Didn't he like put on his fingers like one, like the fifth
counting them out?
Yes,
counting them out
after like the fourth or fifth touchdown he scored.
Oh my God!
Woo!
Let me help them hire a coach. Talk to somebody. Maybe you know somebody.
I might know a guy, but at this point, oh my God, I'm sure he's bunkered down in a cell somewhere in a like one of those 4 foot thick rooms.
Yeah,
with 1,000 phones calling folks.
Oh my God, it's hard. It's hard to. I think of Boys to Men. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Wow, look at you.
And the Beatles come on yesterday. All my troubles seem the screen away.
See, look at that. There's so many variations.
There's so many. They make it so easy, Chris. That's what's
going to be like it's going to be like a mixtape.
We could make a whole like that sham now. But wait, there's more.
Wow.
Just a whole album of screen talk. But Flus justified it. That's the craziest thing.
That's the hard part, yeah.
That's the thing where I say to Kevin Warren, like, there's no hope. You have to say, yeah, that was bad. It will never happen again. Like everybody, including the whole Saturday Night Live writing crew, is coming up with a bit about the Bears running a screen twice. Shaq Barrett and the linebacker there were joking, like we knew they were doing it again. And those of you that have played football will know what me and Chris are talking about. When you're in a controlled scrimmage, you're trying to get a fast live look and your team messes it up. You're like, blow the whistle. All right, let's line it up again. We need to get a look at this. Don't Rose Bowl it. Let it play through. No.
Cameron, you good? You got it? Are you ready? Okay, let's go.
Exactly. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, move on from the Bears.
Wow. Again, impressive.
Gotta get out of there.
Good segue.
Let's go into some college football.
And again, for a weekend that had 0 ranked teams playing each other, it was actually kind of exciting, I thought.
It was a lot of good football out there.
Yes.
A lot of fun. YouTube TV still is winning in my book.
I haven't looked at it yet. Haven't had a chance to, but I will.
All the games. I was able to have 4 on a screen, sometimes 5 or 6.
I'm jealous because I had to get Peacock so my mother-in-law could watch the game because I was at the game with my wife.
Yeah.
So I had to pony up some cash to watch my Notre Dame in South Bend, but that's a whole different story.
There you go. Pony up some cash. They should have sent you a live feed.
I thought I knew a guy, but apparently a college football Hall of Famer, 3-time All-American. But we do have an awesome group of 16 college teams, and I cannot wait to get to them.
Let's get to it. Let's go right away.
Let's do this.
Which one are we starting with again?
Do we have a 16 and a half? No, we don't have.
I don't know. Does Chris have halves this week?
I definitely don't have halves this week.
Let's go with number 16.
Number 16, Ole Miss.
Okay, now this is Lane Kiffin special, obviously, and this is where they're new to the poll, but this is also going to be interesting because they actually know how to beat teams and put some scores up there, right? So they're playing Georgia Tech, and they had a chance to beat them 48-20, which was an improvement. So things are looking up again, first time on the Super 16 poll. We can go to number 15.
Number 15, Oregon State.
See, I'm learning. See, this is the condensed version of the Super 16 poll show. See, last year, I was talking about players' parents and the ride over and, you know, what the coach had for breakfast and everything. Now, this different mode, you know, we're able to kind of enjoy talking about the big games, but maybe the lesser games we may not have a lot of action for them. But we do have to talk about our folks at Oregon State because although they had a great victory over San Diego State, they were they weren't that great, so they kind of stayed at 15. They had no movement.
No movement.
No, sir.
Not like George Costanza at the massage parlor.
Hello.
The opposite of George.
Hello.
Number 14, Chris.
I like that.
Number 14, Oklahoma.
So now we're getting to some teams that know how to put scores on, who know how to score, regardless of who the opponent is. And this is my beef that I'm going to have to talk about at number 10. But the idea that you have to run up a score these days happens. And if the opponent if it's a lesser opponent, guess what? Too bad. You shouldn't have scheduled them. Right?
Yeah. Totally agree.
Oklahoma had a chance to move up too as they beat Tulsa 66-17.
66-17. Lovie Smith was crying in attendance. Former Tulsa alum, but Oklahoma. Did you get who's the quarterback there now?
I want to say I don't know.
I don't know either.
After my guy left.
After our guy left, obviously.
Yeah. To bigger, better things.
Big thing.
He had a great G-Wagon and all. Did you see that? The little social media G-Wagon he got?
No, I didn't see it.
Yes.
He got a dope G-Wagon.
And how's this team doing this year? I'm not sure. They're not in 16, so I don't know.
Oh, no?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Let's go to number 13.
Number 13, Utah.
It's our team. Our Utah team, right?
Utah.
So our guy still isn't ready yet, but
Cam Rising.
Yeah,
he hasn't risen.
Dropped 2 because I'm looking for these high scores. 31-7 against Weber State. Come on. Come on.
Gotta be better than that.
You're better than that.
31-7. Chris doesn't even want them to score on you. The coach should be buying donuts the next day during film for a shutout.
I love that idea. I love that idea. And here's the thing. I mean, I'm hoping they're kind of saving our guy Cam because the schedule's going to get kind of crazy in the next couple of weeks. So
I'm excited about this next team. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about number 12.
Number 12, Oregon.
You kind of scared me there. I thought you were talking about 12 was Colorado. I was like, wait a minute. I'm looking at my list here. I was like, hold on. I don't think they made my top 16.
I don't have no Colorado in my top 16 either.
I was wondering, man.
I'm about this because taking it to Colorado, there's been a lot of buildup, bringing up the head coach's talk about Colorado. Coach Prime is using that as motivation, seeing it thrown out there through social media all throughout the week. Obviously, early part where the head coach of Oregon is talking about Colorado. What have they done in the past? Why are we talking about them right now? So, of course, Prime is primed to use that as motivator, which I would as well.
And of course, it just so happens they're playing on Saturday. That may be one of my picks. I don't know.
Might be.
Bo
Nix.
But Bo
high
Nix
scoring offense here.
Throwing up a gazillion, 55-10 against Hawaii. But again, this is what these teams are supposed to do. And I hope you guys will get upset with me, but if you're playing an opponent, we can't pump the brakes in this day and age. Now, there'll be some games, Oregon's going to be playing SC, and guess what? The score is going to be 14-21 or something, okay? So when they get to those better opponents, they have better defenses, hopefully in the Pac-12.
And that's why you have to pay attention here. Chris has had his own philosophy, his system. No bias. As I said, he's looking at...
Except for Baylor last year.
Baylor stayed in a couple weeks after a loss for some reason.
We liked our Baylor.
His love for Iron Mike Singletary kept him in. I'm surprised at this next team, right? Here, but they did play well.
Number 11, LSU.
Yes, I think playing well against another SEC team, and you can throw up 41 points. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, and the quarterback, Daniels, played a whale of a game. Looks sharp out there.
It's the idea that he's actually improving now.
Oh, absolutely.
But now, do you remember who took over for Leach at Mississippi State? I forgot.
I forget the name of the coach as well.
I think it was someone on his staff. Coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was someone on his staff.
Okay.
And Cherie could look it up. Frank says LSU sucks with an X.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. But let's not forget, I mean, our old buddy BK beat Alabama last year.
Yes, he did.
And they were front and center, the first week or second week, this year. I mean, they laid an egg, but
they got whooped up by Florida State.
It was atrocious.
Yes.
But, I mean, at one point, some polls, we hadn't had our poll yet, but some polls had them in top 5.
Yes, they did. Speaking of top 5s, how about number 10 here, ladies and gentlemen?
Number 10, Notre Dame.
All right, Notre Dame.
Sniffing.
They know a guy.
Brian Kelly sniffing at Notre Dame's heels there. Look at that.
It was tough though, man, because we were there and the fans were pumped up and excited, but the game it started off a little slow, and Central Michigan, the Chippewa scored. Folks were getting nervous, man. And however, Estime, have you been watching him? The running back? Oh my Lord.
I haven't gotten to see that game yet. Lord. I have it on the DVR.
I will make sure I will send you just a tape of his highlights. It's crazy. He's averaging like maybe 150, I think, a game rushing, maybe even more. But he had a couple of big runs, and then he hurdled the guy. It was great. It was great. However,
good back.
We need to learn how to take the boot and put it on the jugular of the lesser teams, because as we're going to see, you have the better opponents when they get those bye games. Bye is in, we paid Central Michigan to come out and lose, but they should put up some scores, not score on us, right? I mean, we need to throw up some crazy points, like we talked about Oklahoma, Oregon. I mean, those are scoring machines. We have to do that. And, we have we have Sam Hartman, who everybody's talking about as a Heisman hopeful. And again, pump the brakes. Week 4, pump the brakes, you know.
Well, they beat Navy to start 42-3. Then they beat Tennessee State, home Richard Dent's former team.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. However, thank God he wasn't playing.
Then they beat North Carolina State.
Yes,
right?
In the rain.
In the rain. Eric Kramer's former team.
There you go.
And then they beat Central Michigan 41-17. How, in your eyes, did Sam Hartman look?
Well, again, it's the level of competition. However, we all know that they actually play football. The opponents do as well.
Yep.
But we need to see what he can do against really good competition. I mean, you know, nothing to take away from those teams, but you know, none of them were ranked. I'm not sure how many games they've won collectively already, but
right.
The idea that Sam Hartman can go out there and, you know, put up, you know, 400 yards against the Naval Academy, I mean, he's supposed to do that, right? And that's the thing. So I want him to, I want to see what happens against great competition, which we may have a chance to see later. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Let's go to number 9. Speaking of competition, there's a QB competition. There's South Florida.
Number 9, Alabama.
What? Wait, hold on. Did I have that correctly? Wasn't sure.
I'm surprised.
I thought Texas was okay. My bad. I thought.
I'm surprised. Alabama. Okay. I thought they'd be at 15.
Did you see the game?
I did.
I mean, oh my God.
They struggled. South Florida.
Just a wee bit.
And you still have them up this high.
Well, again,
their quarterback situation is so, it's more
fluid, we could say.
It's more fluid than the Blindside family adoption. I don't know.
Wow.
What's going on?
Wow. Well, they dropped 3. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Now, the kid from Notre Dame was a fail. The first kid was a fail.
Is he a kid from Notre Dame or is he the Alabama quarterback? Come on, let's.
Former Notre Damer, now Alabama quarterback.
Oh, yes.
He struggled mightily.
Yes.
Buckner.
Yes, it was kind of bad when, you know, after the game they still had his stats on the crawl on ESPN, and they're kind of talking about how he got booted after, you know, I think he had 34 points or 54 points or yards, something like that.
This is a strange territory for Nick Saban because you go all throughout camp building this offense around this. Obviously, former Notre Dame offensive coordinator goes over there because Bill O'Brien's with the Patriots, and this situation at quarterback is not good. And Shane Saban announced Milroe.
Nice. We got the breaking news. Or maybe it's not breaking.
Breaking news.
Which that probably should happen.
Yeah. They tried to make a move, but it didn't work out.
But honestly, I think that was kind of Saban's intention going into it, because I think he was trying to prove to him that he doesn't care. And he was like, hey, you know what? I'll start the guy who only made 30% of his passes in practice, you know? And I'm sure he was like, you're not going to start that guy. And then all of a sudden, oh, okay, he's starting. So I'm assuming now we'll see the starting quarterback do a lot better.
I like accountability, you know? I think
that's huge.
I think it should happen in the NFL as well with teams.
I think it should happen.
I don't know.
Right?
All levels.
College and pro.
All levels. They should have a little accountability if you throw into triple coverage and lose. Anyway, let's go to number 8.
Number 8, Washington.
Speaking about accountability, is it too late? Is it too early? Is it too early to talk about accountability in Michigan State? No.
Oh,
too early. My bad. Too early. Sorry.
Sorry.
Then I didn't move Washington up because, I mean, they're supposed to be a team that has no coach, even though they are in the Big Ten, and they were vying for a national championship or at least some competition a year ago. You know, I assume that they were going to be competitive, but they weren't. But I think the quarterback for Washington, everybody slept on him last year. I think he's going to do great. Yes, Penix. I think he's going to do great this year.
So good, this kid.
I don't have his yards yet. Sheree, can you find me Penix yards? Because I think they're going to be astronomical with 4 games in.
What did he throw? 6 touchdowns this past game or something crazy like that?
Come on, man.
And he's opened up with Boise 56-19. Then they beat Tulsa. Lovey again was crying in the audience. Then 41-7 to Michigan State, as you pointed out, with no coach, that whole drama there. But again, Big Ten football really got trounced there. 1,300 yards over 3 games.
Come on.
3 games, Chris.
Come on.
Jesus.
So I don't know why. I mean, and we talked about him last year. And I mean, he had some great numbers last year. So I think, I mean, he's probably going to be, I mean, there's, you can look at maybe the top 4 or 5 guys right now. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's up in there. I mean, you watch, I was able to watch a little bit of that game, and kid's accurate, deep ball thrower. We'll talk a lot more about him as the schedule. I think who they got coming up, Cal. So they don't play a ranked opponent till October. But still, Cal in your
I think that has a lot to do with the conference. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe what conference was that again?
I don't know which one. They could switch it tomorrow. They could be in the MAC.
Are they going to have to rebrand that and say like Pac 3.5, Pac 4?
How many teams are in the Pac-12? There's
Right.
6.
Right. Seriously.
It's not a baker dozen there,
And
Bob.
then when you have Cal and Stanford rolling, come on. I mean,
Oh my
you
God.
know it's bad, right?
Freaking Cal's going to the ACC.
I know. I think Oregon State, right? Oregon State, Arizona State, Arizona.
Where the hell? Oh, who's left? Who's left in
Yeah.
the Pac-12?
I think
Oregon State,
Arizona,
Arizona,
State.
and Arizona State.
And then, I mean, if Cal can get out, like, who else could be?
Stanford's staying, right?
No.
Or did they leave?
Stanford bounced with Cal to the ACC.
That's right. Cal and Stanford. The band even went.
Is there any way you can maybe find it out? Because I think that'd be really interesting.
Cherie, how many teams are left in the Pac-12 or will be left? Is San Diego State moving to the Pac-12?
Seriously.
Oh my God. San Jose State.
Wow.
Aren't they in the Pac-12?
And think about that. Like that commissioner, they hired a couple of years ago. They fired him and they got a new guy. And apparently, it's a rough one.
It's a bad look. Let's go to number 7.
Number 7, Florida State.
Now, this was an interesting one because, and they actually fell for me. Love me some Florida State this year, but they fell to because Boston College was underranked. However, it was hyped up because that was their red bandana game.
Yes. That is a great story, Chris.
Phenomenal story.
Kid that died. Was he a lacrosse player, right?
Yep, lacrosse, yep.
So they're wearing the colors.
He died like 9/11, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So the team
I think he always wore like a red bandana or something like that. Come on, man.
That's an emotional game. BC at BC, mind you. The energy, the weather was weird.
Oh,
The game was odd.
yeah.
I thought Florida State had them on the ropes early, and then all of a sudden BC comes screaming back and made it a game. But
There were a couple games
hear
like that.
I hear you, though. BC.
So
Football's
do you
better
agree
when
with them
BC's
dropping
good.
too because of that?
Yeah. I was wondering how you were going to handle them. And I'm taking notes about
I just went to that because at one point, we were at the game and somebody showed me the score. I thought it was the final. And I was like, oh, crap, they lost. I mean, it was that close. And they won at the last second, right?
Yeah, they came back and went. They threw a pick six that got them back in the game.
Okay.
Momentum kind of made its way in there, but I don't know, Chris. It's a tough one there. I don't know if they have UConn on the schedule a couple times. It'll be all right. I'm trying to find their schedule. It doesn't. So who did they play? Oh, Holy Cross. They brought Northern Illinois.
Think about it, though.
Open. They went to double overtime against Northern Illinois.
Right. So think about the opponents they played.
They almost lost to Holy freaking Cross.
Think about it. So then they bring Florida State in there.
31-29. They finished.
I mean, that's huge, man. That's something you could you could build off that.
Got to build off it. We'll see. Florida State was looking great till that. We'll see how they handle this. Who do they got this weekend? Let me see. Florida State.
Your computer's working faster than mine.
I can't. I thought I could just click on them and it would go there. I got to look it up. Sucks. FSU football.
Watch out.
Guess what? They got Clemson.
That's going to be
Clemson, who hasn't looked very good at all.
That's going to be interesting because Dabo's going to have to prove himself.
There you go. Let's go to number 6.
Number 6, Texas.
Oh, they were able to rise 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, they are officially now in the rankings. And however, some people like them to be higher. They struggled with Wyoming. I mean,
Wyoming was tough.
We're going back and forth, and it was they didn't lay it on until at the end.
Yeah, that was a struggle going to. Were they playing in Wyoming? It looked like it was playing in Wyoming. That game,
and that's something I didn't quite understand unless there's a home and home. But hold on, let me see. Was it at? No.
It was at Texas, but it looked like it was at Wyoming because Wyoming was wearing their brown home.
That must have been it.
So that's what it looked like to me when they were playing it across the screen. I was at a birthday party watching these games, so there was no volume, but they had them all up. Unbelievable, Texas.
Yeah,
gotta see what they do.
Who just said they were overrated? I didn't see the name. I'm sorry.
Citizen X.
Yeah, I want to say that, but I mean, after that Alabama beatdown, I'm excited to see what else they can do. But then you back that up with a freaking, I think like in a third or fourth quarter, they were close against Wyoming.
I think it's Ivan is helping us out. It's just Oregon State and Washington State that's left.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
The Pac-2. Is that funny? Two-pack.
Is that
Tupac or Tupac?
Is that even possible?
Well, it's just like Tupac, a little overrated. So there you go.
Like, how do you find 12 teams and like, because think about what the college football playoff guys got to do now, right?
How do you handle that?
It's like
the Pac-2. They're looking for teams right now.
How do you get 10 teams in a year?
Chico State. Chico State.
All right. How we doing on time? Okay, we're doing good on time.
Let's go to number 5. Number 5.
Number 5. Penn State.
I think this is going to be an exciting year for the Lions, man. This is
higher, Bob. I want them higher, Bob.
I got them high, man. But then when you look at, who's behind them and who's ahead of them, I think they're really in a good spot.
This is going to be a great game this weekend. That's the game I can't wait to watch. I'm sorry. But
What?
Penn
Really?
State. Yes.
Yes, Penn State, Iowa, absolutely.
Iowa.
Absolutely.
IOWA. This is my game. I just sit there and watch it because I like both of these teams. So I'm in that safe place. Whoever wins deserves it.
Well, hopefully you'll be watching another game as well.
I'm sure I'm going to be watching, but that's on prime time. Prime time. Prime.
Which one?
Penn State.
Colorado, Oregon, or the Notre Dame Ohio State one? Which is going to be on prime time?
I'm watching a certain Ohio Indiana matchup.
A certain one. All right. Speaking about Ohio.
Yes, number 4. Or you have something else to add to this Penn State?
I was thinking about number 4, but
all right.
Number 4, Ohio State.
See, this is what's making me nervous. You get Ohio State playing Western Kentucky, regardless of the quarterback, and they're throwing up numbers. 63-10.
Youngstown State 35-7. Indiana 23-3.
Yep.
To me, I have Penn State over Ohio State.
Really?
Yes, I would have Penn State 4. Everything else so far, I really like.
Interesting.
But I'd have Penn State over Ohio State, in my opinion. But that game will be played, correct?
Was that because it was Delaware 7?
Delaware wing T.
So excited about.
Yes, the wing T is tough to stop.
I'm just saying, man. Because West Virginia.
That's a rivalry game.
Huh?
That's a rivalry game.
Yes, exactly.
West Virginia. So that's
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yes, Illinois. Come on, man.
Illinois.
Look at the schedule. That is going to happen on October 21st.
It's coming up quick, bro.
Yes, it is.
Dun, dun,
yes,
dun,
it is.
Dun, 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 dun,
Speaking about that.
Number 3, Michigan.
Now, before they play that game, they have to play that other game with South Bend. But
big game.
But Michigan once again beats another team without a coach, without like crazy points. And again, I'm getting nervous, but hey, you know what? The preseason is starting to end. So
they don't have their coach.
Huh?
They don't have their coach.
Correct.
All right.
Until the next game, right?
This game, right? He's back this week, Sheree.
Yeah.
This is good. The return of the Bismarck. Go off.
Yes. He's coming back for Rutgers.
Rutgers, who's been Rutgers is undefeated.
No, they're not.
There he is. Yes, they are.
They are, aren't they? Yes,
Rutgers
they are.
has not lost. Greg Schiano.
Greg Schiano.
They were on the road too.
Yes. Northwestern. Temple.
Temple tough.
Vatek
on the road.
Can there be an upset? Upset?
Don't sleep on Rutgers. They got some talent there.
Apparently. Oh. Wow. Brutal.
Jimmy Harbaugh makes his return. Michigan has looked a little erratic early in the game this past Saturday against Bowling Green. And then their defense kind of took over, and then the offense followed suit. But I think with Harbaugh coming back, things are going to be on the up and up this week, Chris.
Up and up. One thing I got to say is that when they make a concerted effort to kind of give a shout out to their coach, what they did, I think, the first game of the year when they did that crazy lineup and Al held up number 4. You can't pay for that. So I think those guys are locked in. They love their coach. The coach is crazy in love with those guys. So I think it's going to be an interesting game. And I think he's going to have to prove himself because there's only so many line number things he can hold, right?
What would be great is if he came out and just started holding it at first. That would be awesome. Just, you know what?
For those of you who might not know what we're talking about, I think 2 weeks ago, he what was it, the first game?
No, I think it was the first game.
Okay.
It might have been last weekend, actually. Not this weekend, the previous one, where he went to his son's game.
Right. He went to his son's game and he was participating by holding the numbers, the lines. What do you call that?
The lines, the sticks, the chains.
Yeah, the sticks. Right. Well, the chain. I'm used to chains. Now that they have
Some
chains,
people said move the sticks.
Yeah.
The
chain gang.
The chain gang. Speaking of the chain gang, hold on. I got a picture, evidence, Chris, for you. I'm trying to find it. Where the frig is it?
Because I saw it and I rolled. It was awesome.
I do have a picture of something for you.
Uh-oh.
I don't have my glasses, so it's very hard for me to see the desktop because I have so many stupid thumbnails on my desktop here. Here it is. I found it. It's loading up. But Jim Harbaugh did the chain gang. Chris, look at those 2 ladies holding the chains in the game.
Uh-oh. And we know who that is now, don't we?
Look at Steph Atoshin right there with the first down chain, holding the chain right there.
Love it. See?
So there's my wife got to hold the chains. I called her Jim by an accident.
I'm sure she'd love that.
And
so where are you on there? On the sideline?
No, I'm right there next to the ref. I'm holding the play sheet behind the play.
I see. Gotcha.
We're allowed to be on the field.
You look so big out there with those little kids.
I know. I've never been so tall. I've never felt so tall in my life. But that was the chain. My wife and Coach Fish's wife were holding the chain. She's like, I loved it.
How did they do?
They did awesome.
Really?
I got to give them a shot. Yeah, they were great. Even the referee was like, listen, you guys did an amazing job. You didn't argue. You didn't yell at anyone. Steph was like, I really liked it because I was right on the field. I really got the taste of the game there. So anyway.
Yeah, she's going to like that until she gets her knee blown out by.
Imagine play comes rolling.
She's going to stand there. She's not going to know to drop it.
Drop the thing.
Run off the way. Was that part of the class when they said, hey, when people are coming to just drop it and leave?
I hope that I wasn't there for the instruction of that class, and I didn't tell her that either. The official, I guess, met with them and instructed them. So
okay, let's hope because she's going to be that concerned mom and hold it, and make sure that they know where it's at.
Football Follies used to have some crazy. I remember somebody got the friggin' chain thing stuck right in their stomach. Got like a joust.
Jesus.
I remember I think it was former Lorenzo White for some reason from the Houston Oilers. Yeah, he got a.
Did they have points on the end? I mean,
yes, they had the fucking point on the end. Buddy Ryan's throwing a punch at Kevin Gilbride.
How crazy! Why would they have points on those damn things?
They thought like it would stick into the ground and hold its space. They didn't think of this. Hold on, we're gonna joust somebody here.
Right? Oh my God!
We're still holding chains for God's sake.
Right. Exactly. You would think they would come up with something better than
something new. Something new. All right, I'm getting the text of hustle up.
There we go.
Here we go. Number 2.
We spent like 10 minutes on her.
I know. She should be happy.
Exactly. Come on, Steph. Well,
let's go to number 2.
Number 2, USC.
They were idle, so what the heck.
Yeah, we're back. USC, Caleb Williams.
And I think that I hear from a birdie that you may really like this guy. I'm just saying.
Whatever
Did I hear from a
that
birdie?
was might be whispering correctly. Let's go to number 1, Chris.
Number 1, Georgia.
I was getting a little nervous, man.
Little
Our
early
guy,
score.
man, Rattler was rattling him up, man.
Rattler. The suspense. Rattler was ruffling those feathers in Georgia, huh?
Loving it, man. It was exciting.
Oh,
It was
absolutely.
exciting. And it's one of those things where had they been ranked like maybe 5 or 6, I would have dropped them, man.
Yeah. I mean, their number 1 SEC opponent rivalry. Excuse me.
Supposed to dominate.
Supposed to dominate. They win by 10, Chris. You weren't thinking of moving the bye team up 1?
The bye team? That would have been too bad. I mean, that would have been terrible, man.
They kind of got you trapped there.
Right.
Cherie's like, Michigan should be
That's
1.
the thing. Right. But, whoa, hold on. Bowling Green? Come on. No coach. See, that's the trick bag, man. So now you're talking about leapfrog.
You did it right. You did it
Now you're
right.
talking about leapfrog on Ohio State because they beat Western Kentucky 66-10. They're number 1.
Did it right. You did it right.
Just saying, man.
You won the game. It wasn't like it was South Carolina State.
That is true. That is
Right?
true.
South Carolina, they played tough, but they still won. Now, this weekend, I think the real matchups start to happen. But go ahead. There's your top 16. I can review them for you this week.
That would be great.
Ole Miss, Oregon State, who they're no longer in the Pac-12. They're out of there. Oklahoma, Utah at
The
number
Deuce.
the Deuce. Remember the Deuce? It used to be called the Deuce.
Right.
ESPN, the Deuce.
Right. The Deuce.
Then they realized a lot of people talk about the Deuce a different way.
Right.
Number 12, the Oregon Ducks. Number 11, LSU, Brian Kelly. Number 10, his rival right there, Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. Chris has no bias. 9, Alabama. 8, Washington. 7, Florida State. 6, Texas. 5, Penn State. 4, Ohio State. 3, Michigan. 2, USC. And number 1, Georgia. Chris, your final thoughts here.
Final
Big
thoughts.
matchups.
I didn't realize why the Pac Deuce doesn't get him much love because you got to stay up until 3:00 in the morning watching them. I experienced this Saturday watching Colorado State and Colorado, and had no idea it would take that freaking long.
And it was crazy. I'm so glad I went to bed at halftime.
But it was interesting, man. I mean, people talk about a rivalry game. You got to think about that. Colorado State's walking in there with 0 athletes versus their 560 athletes. And for
I think a lot of people don't realize that either.
There are a couple times when I think Coach Sanders outcoached Norvell, right? And another time, he should have punted the ball, Norvell, Colorado State, and they wound up going for it and not making the field goal, and that put them in some really bad position. Now, they didn't score, but there were a couple times they could have scored. Now, here's the thing, though. When you're in that situation and you know that other team has a gazillion athletes,
Yep.
and you have a chance to win, they were in overtime. Instead of going for 2, he wound up kicking the field goal. You got to think about that. Like, I was watching with my buddy Mike. We were talking about it. Like, he has to know, like, he doesn't have the athletes.
Exactly.
D-line, they were exhausted, man. They were exhausted.
Had him.
So in that situation, I thought he should have went for 2.
I agreed with you. Watching back, obviously, I went to bed and watched the rest the next day. And I agree with you. I felt like you were the lesser team and you're battling. You have an opportunity to shut a lot of people up. You have to take that opportunity. Go down fighting. Don't leave it up to something else. And they did.
Right.
I was with you.
You know, and you know, if you don't make it, guess what, man? You lost to an up-and-coming Colorado team that everybody thought you were going to get blown out by. And I think the spread was like 20 or something like that. You lose to them by 1 point.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see how this team handles Oregon, Colorado. There's a lot of hype on them. I get it. And this weekend, we get to see it.
Yes. And the one game we didn't mention throughout our follies was UCLA and Utah. I think that's going to be another good game. So we got at least 5 or 6 ranked opponents playing each other. So it's going to be another fun week.
Going to be a fun week. I'm sorry I'm cutting the show a little shorter tonight.
We're good. We're good on time. You know,
I had to go.
Rant down. That's a good thing. Thank you, Sharif, for helping me shut his rant down. But big game to watch. I got a prediction.
Go ahead.
Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Yes.
Notre Dame squeaks it out.
Yes, Chris.
Absolutely.
What
Just
is the
because we're
score?
going to be rabid fans here in South Bend, and we aren't going to let the Buckeyes go home without a couple black eyes.
You had a final predicted score?
Final predicted score, I'd say 21-23.
21-23, Notre Dame with his final prediction. I promise you, we'll be back next Monday night, 8:15, our normal time, on the Super 16 show with Chris Zorich, the 3-time All-American CBS Defensive Player of the Year, national champion, former All-Madden College Football Hall of Famer, and super amazing man himself and friend. I love doing this show with you every Monday night with Cherie, me and you. Tune in next week. We'll be breaking down all the big games, including Ohio State, Notre Dame.
The victory
day.
Ohio State.
It's a big game Saturday night. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure I'll be texting with Chris. I want Chris not to be like this.
Wow. One last pull for the Mini Clover. We forgot to mention
Go ahead.
that. Mention it. In South Bend for the week, for Ohio State week. And what place, why not hang out at the Mini Clover? We have, I think, 1 game left. Check out theminiclover.com and see which game that is. I would love to host you. For folks who come out, hang out with you for about an hour, get some awesome gifts. You get a jersey, 2 jerseys, autographed football helmet, autographed football, bunch of pictures, hanging out. It's going to be a great time if you come check us out at theminiclover.com.
It's at theminiclover.com. Rent it out. Chris will come meet you, have a bunch of surprises for you. We'll probably even bring you an egg McMuffin. Who knows?
Who knows? It depends, you know.
We'll see you guys next week, but definitely check out the Mini Clover with Chris. It's a great experience. There's a lot of reviews on how people have gone there and had a great experience, and Chris is a great host. Trust me. So shouting him out. Didn't tell me to, but I'm doing it anyway. For the All-American himself and the super producer, Cherie, the Lady Bear. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil. This is another episode of The Tape Never Lies, as well as Chris Zorich. Shout out to the National Football Foundation and the Football Writers of America. The Super 16 Poll Show every Monday night on The Tape Never Lies. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching the Super 16 Poll Show with Chris Zorich. Like, subscribe, and comment. This has been a special presentation of the Tape Never Lies Network. Performance over politics.